What's going on, guys? Today we've got a new type of video. I'm actually going to be breaking down a sale from the legend himself, Iman Gadzhi. So if you sell SMMA, coaching services, consulting services, then this close, I guarantee you, will help you improve. Not only because it's for a 12K a month retainer, but because me, myself, and I am so fantastic. I love sales. I study sales. It's what I've been doing for the last like 7 years on this channel. And I just love analyzing this type of stuff. And so I'm going to be breaking down for you all the interesting things that Iman does to make his agency grow to, what was it, like $100,000 a month, creating these crazy retainer packages. I promise you're going to want to watch this video. So catch the whole thing. Appreciate you guys. Let's get into it.
I'm from Sweden.
Nice. Whereabouts?
In southern of Sweden, a town called Helsingborg. It's at the bottom. Yeah.
Very interesting. Never heard of it before. Never been to Stockholm.
No?
Really want to go. I mean, Sweden just has the most incredible women, honestly.
I agree.
And then I've been to Gothia.
Gothia Towers.
So funny. I remember half about football, half about like partying and girls and so yeah. Like I would ask girls like, "What are you doing here?" They're like, "Oh, we're here for 2 weeks because we traveled from the other side of Sweden, British and American boys and French boys and this and that."
Yeah, I've also played at that cup actually.
Okay, so just getting right into this is something I see a lot of sales guys mess up off the bat is like not building rapport. This is going to sound super basic, but if you don't have a connection with the client, like they're actually not going to open up as much to you as they would if they already like you, know you, trust you, or are laughing with you. So you can see the first like 30 seconds of this call, Iman is just kind of doing that at a really simple level. Next up here, he's going to frame the call and basically tell him what the heck is going to go down inside this call.
From what I understand, you guys got 2 brands that you're working on and building. Kind of, where's the focus at the moment, and which one do you more specifically want our help with, or do you want our help with both?
So we have 2 brands, and the first brand is focused on the Swedish e-commerce market, and the other one is focused in the US. And we want to focus on the Swedish one for sure. Mm-hmm. And we have pushed quite a lot of revenue lately, and it's only like a month old, but we really see a huge potential here. Yeah, so that's the one we want to focus on.
So you say it's a month old, but from what I understand, you guys are doing over 6 figures a month with it?
Yeah, we're doing like, yesterday we did about 35K in revenue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
6 months time, or where would you need to be for for you to consider a success, our partnership a success?
Do you mean revenue wise or?
Yeah, revenue wise.
Do you mean in the entire 6 months?
No, as in how much monthly?
Like $1 million. We want to aim like 500K to $1 million. Yeah, that's the goal. Yeah.
Understood. At the moment, are you just running the ads yourself?
Yeah. Currently, I'm doing all of the ads myself, but we have people that source videos and copywriters and stuff like that. So, but I focus on the advertising myself.
For sure. How much time does it take out of your day?
Maybe like 4 or 5 hours a day. Yeah.
4 or 5 hours a day. Wow.
I do a lot. Yeah, I focus a lot on it.
And are you the only founder, or do you have a partner?
2 others.
2 others.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours a day. That's a lot.
Right.
Okay, so this is the one and only pain point in the really like the entire call that kind of goes down here is really the owners having their time stretched so thin where they can't focus on other areas of the business. Iman doesn't go into any like emotional triggers to bring that out of him. He just really gets like the facts, like
how many hours are you spending on this 4 to 5?
That's a lie. And the guy's like, yes, that is a lie. For me, that's like crazy because he's just always so like logistical and logical with how he's selling here. There's no emotion to this whatsoever.
So yeah, if you give me a breakdown, like let's say over the space of the last 30 days, how much have you guys, I'm assuming it's over the Facebook?
Yes, it's only focused on Facebook right now. Yes.
How much have you guys spent and how much have you guys brought back?
We have generated 200K so far, and we spent 60K on ads, and that's in euros.
Amazing. And what's your guys' biggest seller on that store?
It's like LED spotlight.
Is that bringing in like 50% of sales, 80% of sales? Like what's the distribution between the products?
70% at the moment. It's our biggest winner for sure.
Awesome. And then your second biggest winner?
It's we have the Galaxy lamp, and then it's like a fireplace cabin.
So the entire discovery process for his call is pretty fast and efficient. It's around 7 minutes long to discover all of the person's, like, what are they doing? What are their goals? What are their pains? Granted, and keep in mind, they've already had a preliminary discovery call with Danny here, but I think what Iman is doing is recollecting all of that information again. Still, 7 minutes is pretty quick.
You mentioned in your application that you've worked with a couple other agencies and had some not so great experiences.
We've only worked with one agency before, and we were pretty satisfied with their work, but then we added them as an admin on our ad accounts. And one of the members in the agency got hacked on their Facebook. So they actually hacked our complete business manager, and they removed all of our ads, and we couldn't restore the Facebook accounts. So, and they didn't give us the money back. It was a very bad experience.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that.
Now, right here, we're going to get into one of their biggest fears, and this is called a solution-based question. This is what Iman probes to them to elicit and bring out this fear before you do any pitching. I imagine on some kind of qualification form, the lead said that they have worked with other agencies in the past. So what is the fear? Well, the fear is they don't want to waste time and money on inefficient scaling and working with another unreliable agency. Because what you're going to see here is they had a terrible experience. So what Iman wants to elicit is here, what were the main problems in that situation that caused this terrible situation? And how can he position his agency as something completely different so that that will never happen again? If he didn't do this, like, I guarantee you he wouldn't have gotten the close, because they would have been too suspicious that if they signed with this agency, it was just going to be a copy and paste of the exact same experience that they already had.
Just out of curiosity, have you guys looked at expanding into different markets? You know, because we've got clients come to us, you know, one that comes to mind 2 months ago, or actually, 2.5 months ago. You know, this client was just selling in UK, and we're like, look, I think we're going to do better. Like, their entire business was just UK. It even had UK in the company name. And, you know, we were like, look, we think you could do a lot better in the States. And, you know, within the space of 2.5 months, we're still advertising the UK, advertising Canada, States, and Australia, but the ads specifically just from the US.
Okay, right here, Iman does something very clever and very subtle, okay? And this is called expanding the vision. And so not only does Iman get, like, their basic goals of what they want to do throughout the year, but he subtly challenges them that they need to grow into other markets and other areas. And he does this in a way, by the way, that, like, leverages social proof in a case study for a past client, which subtly hints that if I've done it for them, I can do it for you as well. I think why this is important is because not only is it aligning the client to, like, the direct goals in front of them that they want, but, like, long-term goals of expansion, and how, like, Iman is already thinking about that for them. And this already creates, like, synergy, alignment, and now, like, the goals just went from here to, like, up here. And when goals are here, it's much easier to sell them, because, like, if I'm gonna be making $1 million a year, that's my goal, and it only costs me $12,000 a month to get there, easy sell. But if I'm only doing $50,000 a year and it's $12K a month, I'm like, dude, I can't even afford that. So you have to expand their goals, make it bigger, make it better, make it broader. And this is a very subtle, nuanced way that Iman does that.
That's also why I need to work with an agency, so I can start on working on developing the company into more countries as well.
You're a very smart man, because a lot of e-commerce business owners, they're doing good and they never get to great because they're so adamant on doing what someone else can do better.
Okay, so what I got out of the discovery process of the call is that the prospect is really struggling with 3 main problems. If you watch my channel, you know that you want to tailor their problems to your pitch, only talk about aspects of your service that solve those problems. So problem number 1 for these guys is they're overworked and they're stretched super thin. So the co-founder right now is spending 4 to 5 hours a day managing ads, which just, like, at the end of the day, it just limits your time towards, like, higher leveraged activities. So that's a very, very big one. Like, his business could be growing way bigger if he wasn't spending that much time every single day on something like ads, which is like a high profit activity, but there's higher profit activities that he could be doing. Number 2 is the scaling challenges. Okay, so what I mean by that is they want to hit $500K to $1 million a month, but they need a proven system to scale profitably while maintaining 2.5 to 3 times ROI or ROAS, which they haven't been able to do successfully so far on their own. Last problem here is the market expansion and their hesitation around this. So they know that they need to expand beyond Sweden, so to, for example, like Germany and Scandinavia, but they lack the expertise and resources to execute effectively. These are all 3 things that in a normal sales call, in a normal pitch, you kind of find like which of those 3 things is like the biggest thing holding you back, why that is so pivotal, and if you don't figure this thing out, how is that going to really destroy your business, not allow it to grow to the place that you want it to be, and are you willing to settle for that or not? Usually they'll say no, and then that's when you give them your pitch.
So let me go away and have a chat with Danny. I'll just be, put my cards out on the table. I mean, you could not get a client that's more fits into our regular mold. Company coming to us doing 150K a month, e-commerce, wants to get to 500K a month. This is pretty much what we do. Like this kind of fits our perfect mold. On the results side of things, it's a green light. Honestly, no issues here. Only thing that's important to us is company culture. And that's really, really important to us. Like, actually, that's more important to us than anything. Because at the end of the day, we're not like a car salesman. I always say, car salesman, it's like you're sleeping with someone. With us, it's like we're getting a relationship. Because at the end of the day, we're long-term partners. Yeah, we'll go over that on the next call, and then outside of that, we'll make you an offer.
Okay, and then we finish off right there, the end of the first call. So this is a 2-call close. Now, one thing with like Iman that I want you to pay attention to here is like his authority frame. His words, his tones, his actions makes you like yearn for his approval. And what I mean by that is, it is what I just said it is. He's doing 2 things at the end here before he sets up the call. He's affirming that 1,000% we can help you, and you want to do this every single time. If you're setting an appointment on a closer's calendar, the setter should be doing this. Give them full confidence that we can help you. But then number 2, what he's doing here is he's basically saying like, I know we can help you, but I don't know if you're gonna work with us, because what's big for us is company culture. So on our next call, we're gonna dive a little bit more into that to see if you fit the standards for us. And of course, like this isn't something that every agency can do. If you're playing at like a small level, it's not really appropriate. I mean, Iman has like good case studies and respect in the industry at this point, so you can play more into that. But still, like that authority and that energy is like the classic sort of Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can. Like if you don't have that authority, it doesn't matter. Like you can still say things and have this like bravado around you that communicates that you are up here and they are down here. And that is like a great lesson on how you can bring this into your sales calls.
Really, when we're talking to clients, we break things down into 2 parts. First is, ask you guys some questions, see where you guys are at, and see whether we can actually get you the results that you want. And really for you to also just set some expectations. Because at the end of the day, this is a partnership. You need to be able to give us what we want out of this partnership, and we need to be able to give you what you want out of this partnership. The second thing is culture fit. For us, that is super important. Now both of those have to be a green light, for us to offer you the chance to work with our agency.
He actually like outlines some of the things that he's looking for, and then he finishes off by saying, if both of those are green lights, we will give you the opportunity to work with us. Just notice that subtle power shift. Use this.
We've kind of gone through the state of your business, and the good news is, on the results side of things, it's a green light, right?
So just to reiterate here, like he is referencing back again the power shift dynamic from before, and referencing like we only work with people if they fit these 2 things. You fit the first thing. Good job. And so now they're like, yeah, I fit the first thing. Fantastic. And so now Iman just moves on to the second thing.
So yeah, a little bit about how we operate, so you guys can, aren't making decision in the dark. Our number 1 thing is result.
Aren't making decisions in the dark. Again, just kind of frames it up that like, hey, you're going to be making a decision like very soon, and we're going to be in that equation. Just reminding them like a decision has to be made here.
And the offer that we're going to make you today is not based on impressions. It's not based on clicks. It's not based on even a potential of, hey, we're going to come in and, we're going to maintain what you're doing. The offer that we're going to make you today is only worth it if we can not only come in and maintain, but do a hell of a lot better. We've done some incredible things for our clients. Here's an example. We made a decision in 2018 that we wouldn't do any more face-to-face meetings, and we'd have no office, and we'd keep things lean. So that way you're paying for the retainer. That way you're paying for the value that we bring you, not an espresso addiction, not for some swanky office so that we can look cool, so we can just focus on getting you the results that we want. So whatever brings you the best results brings us the best results. The main thing here is you're handing this off to someone who's not only going to maintain what you're doing, they're going to do exponentially better. And that means that you can focus, as you said on our call 2 days ago, on the other areas of the business. Basically, the last question that I have for you after I've talked your ear off is, why do you think you would be a good fit for our agency culture and the way that we operate? If at all you think that, we would make a good team and a good partnership.
Okay, and there we go. We have like the end of the pitch there. So there's a couple interesting things with this pitch that I want to mention, but he hasn't really talked about the price yet and how that works, and that's one of the most interesting things here. The second thing is what I've already talked about, is the cultural fit emphasis here. He doesn't just like pitch results here, he pitches a long-term partnership. So he just frames this decision as very like mutually beneficial, and that it's so important that we're aligned. And just to kind of put the nail in the coffin, he ends the pitch with a question for them, why, and having them justify to him why they think they're a good cultural fit, which I think is a little bit baller.
Yeah, so in terms of company culture, I mean, as in, I'll give you an example. People that know me well know that I'm very, very into watches. And one of our clients, Kevin Rose, he was on the board of advisors for a company called Hodinkee. Now, if you never heard of Hodinkee as a client is literally my wet dream. I could not think of e-commerce watches like Hodinkee. Like anyone who's into watches, like Hodinkee is like their favorite brand. In 2018, I got on a sales call with them, and that retainer would have been around 15 grand a month. And I decided not to bring on that client because from a culture fit, I could tell it just wasn't going to work, because when we had to speak to them, one person had to approve it with another person who had to approve it. And that's just not the way we work. We like to be fast, lean, and focus on making you money, not having multiple layers of approval.
So real quick, Iman just gives an example of a culture fit where he had to turn down a past client, even though they would have been like really, really like money good for the agency. He had to say no because they just didn't align in terms of values. Now let's see the client justify why he thinks they would be a good cultural fit.
Okay, I see. So I've been working with events since we were 17 and we're 23 at the moment. So we basically started like the whole e-commerce business in high school. Why I think it would be a great company fit for us, because we're very like easy to deal with, and as you say as well, like we're definitely happy to give you the responsibility to outsource everything for growing our company with the ads, and we feel like we want to trust you guys, and so just let all of the control to you guys.
You got any thoughts?
This thing might be obvious here, but Iman actually gives an option for both owners to speak. Once the guy says his piece, he's like, okay, Bob, like, what are your thoughts? Because he wants them both bought in so that they're both aligned and one person isn't saying one thing and one person is saying the other.
Yes, for sure. I totally agree with Jacob. We are two persons that are very easy to communicate with, and we totally agree with the culture that you have with your company, with no office, and being straightforward in the communication.
Good news is, we feel the same way. So
great.
Glad to hear.
That's a great news. So in terms of what we can offer for you guys now, as you guys mentioned last month, you spent $60K and brought back in $200K. So that's around $140K spread right there, return on ad spend. We don't want to come in and take ownership, or we don't want to take credit for what you guys have already done. So we don't want to take, for example, a percentage of return on ad spend for $140K when you guys have already done that. But we also need a little margin of safety, because $140K could have been a fluke, quite frankly. So we need just a little margin of safety. So what we can offer you is 1,600 pounds a month base fee. So that's just a tiny base retainer, and then from there we're only going to take a 5% return on ad spend. Anything we bring you over 100K a month, if we spend 50K and we bring you back in 150K, we won't take any percentage of that. we'll
Okay.
only start taking 5% of, in terms of return on ad spend. So obviously that's rev minus ad spend. Our 5% only kicks in once we make you 100K that month.
For an example, if we spend 100K and we get 300K back, it's the 5% of the 200K.
Only 5% of 100K.
Okay.
For the first 100K, because you guys can already accomplish that yourselves. We don't want to take credit for that.
So another example would be 100K spend, 350 brought back. It's 250 there that we would 5%.
Okay.
Danny, you mean 150?
150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome.
And this is the magic of the sale. As far as what I know, Iman didn't always do his pricing structure like this. It took him a while to get his business up to a point, maybe a year or two in, where he was comfortable enough on delivering results where he could take something like this. Basically, this is just completely no-brainer stuff here. I mean, like, if the retainer is like this low, it's nothing if they're doing $100,000 a month already, and he's really only taking a cut of anything they do over 100K. So, I mean, it's stupid simple. It's basically hiring a sales rep on 100% commission. You only pay them if they make money, right? At that point, if that's the offer you're being made, the only decision the business owner has to make and think about is back to the sales rep example is, does this person in front of me, is this someone that I could see myself realistically talking to
every single day?
If the answer is no, like, I don't even care how much money they could make me, I just don't want to do it. Which is why I think Iman stresses so much about culture here, because he recognizes that even though it's risk-free, there is still a risk to the business owner investing time in you, talking to you, like all this stuff. And if like you guys are just misaligned, then you guys are going to hate each other and it's not going to be a good experience. So now it's all coming together and it's making sense.
Is there a problem for like we're Swedish and currently all of our customers are Swedish as well? I'm just thinking about the creatives in terms of copywriting and the videos and that kind of stuff. How will this be managed in Swedish?
So right here we have the closest thing to an objection. Really, you're going to find that this is like an objectionless close. It's really just a logistical question asking about like, well, how the hell are you going to transfer over our Swedish creatives into these different languages? And watch how Iman handles it.
Yeah, so we have clients in Finland, Italy, Germany. Basically, the way we do is we write all of the content and then you guys translate it. We can get a translator, that's possible. And we've offered that to our clients before, but every single client has just decided to translate it themselves. Because, that's the easy bit, right? Or once we send you the copy, it'll take you 2 minutes to translate it. The reason that a lot of times clients like to translate it themselves, a translator will translate it word for word or like, they don't understand your product. And it's almost nice that you add that you're the little cherry on top.
He pretty much just reassures them that that's not going to be a problem, adds flexibility so that they're not being pressured, and then he also just aligns with their overall strategy.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really like the offer. Is it possible for just have a quick with Vincent so we can just speak and
Yeah, for sure. I think is there a way to put you guys in or maybe in that case probably just hop off Zoom, give each other a call or hop into another Zoom meeting, and then Danny and I will wait here.
Okay, awesome. Should we leave or just leave the meeting?
Okay, and then this is a first for me in a sales call wherein Iman allows the prospect to step away into a waiting room and I guess talk with his partner to see if it works for them. Honestly, this makes a ton of sense because when I have sold to like partnerships before, I used to sell like massive real estate packages to local teams, and there would be like 2 head honchos on a team. Even after a second call close, the 2 honchos would say like, okay,
we're pretty much there. We just need to talk. Can I call you tomorrow?
And I'd be like, sure. And then I have to wait a full 24 hours. And the longer time you wait, the more likely that a deal's not going to go through. In this case, I think they just need like a couple minutes privately in a waiting room, and then they're good to go.
So I've had a talk with Vincent, and I think we're very happy with the offer that you gave us, and we want to proceed with working with you guys.
Awesome, great stuff.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Actually, yeah. It feels very good for us.
So just to summarize, in B2B sales, you should focus on number 1, ROI, prove the financial upside. Number 2, risk mitigation, eliminate fear of loss, and 3, decision maker buy-in, make sure all stakeholders agree. Overall, this video is super valuable. I want to thank Iman Gadzhi for uploading this content for everyone to watch and learn and grow from. If you're trying to get better at your sales abilities, then click the first link down to the below and get started in some training, whether that is SMMA sales, consulting sales, or you just want to do sales full time like what all my boys are doing. So appreciate you watching the video, guys, and I will catch you later. Cheers.
We're here in Switzerland.